Alright, so just to finish this drawing off in Illustrator, this is one of the drawings that I exported, and I exported this one to a specific scale. This is the one that I exported at a 1/32 scale. Alright, so I know this is at a correct scale. And now essentially all I want to do is finish off the line weights. So the easiest way to do this, if you look at your layers, you'll notice that not only did all your lines get exported into Illustrator at a correct scale, but all the layers that you had set up in Rhino are exported along with your drawing. So again, as long as you organize everything in Rhino in very specific layers, all these layers come into Illustrator. So that makes this fairly easy as a way to start to organize. So I'll just start off with, say for example, the extra thick line. I can either turn off all of my layers, and I can just select this one. Right? I can also just change the color. Say, let's see, change it there. I'm going to change the thickness of the line. Change it to a through. And then turn all my layers back on. So that's one way to do it. Another way to do it is if you click on this circle over here, it selects everything that's inside that layer. So again, I can change the color of that one as well as the thickness. So change this to a 2, for example. And I'll come back over here and do the medium. Change this to a 1. Change the color of that line. And the thin lines, I'll change that to, let's see, 0.75. And make these like a lighter shade of gray. And then the extra thin lines, change these to a 0.5. And change these to a light shade of gray. So there I have my drawing set up. I'm going to change the color of my hatch to make it just slightly darker. There you go. So again, because I organized everything in Rhino, it made selecting everything and changing the layers of everything fairly quick once I brought it into Illustrator. The one extra little change I want to make, just to show you how to make dashed lines in Illustrator, I'm going to make all of these down here. I'm going to make all these dashed lines. So I'm going to select them all. Again, I'm just holding down Shift and clicking on these. I'm going to come back to where my lines are located. In case you don't see this additional option, in case when you see the stroke and the weight, if you click over here on this little the 3 lines and say Show Options, you should see all the options for changing the line weight. I'm going to come over here and click on Dash Line. And by clicking on Dash Line, it automatically made all of these dash lines. These dash lines are fairly large. They're at least on mine, they're at a 12 point. I'm going to see what happens if I make these 2. That's a little bit better. I'm going to change them one more time and change them to a 1. There you go, that's better. So it's pretty easy to make these your lines dashed in Illustrator. And there's my drawing. And it's on an 11 by 17 page. And it's ready to go. So just one thing I just want to mention, just to note, just say, for example, you're setting up your drawings and you have, say, for example, you have two elevations. You'll have another elevation up here and one down here, or you have an elevation in a floor plan, and you export these separately, and you later combine them into one page. Just be very careful of this one thing I'm about to show you. So I'm going to make a new document. I'll just make a new 11 by 17. And say, for example, you set up one of your drawings in Illustrator and you change the line weights and everything, and you come over here and you go to copy and paste. Everything looks fine and seems okay, but now go to your layers. And you see that when you pasted your layers, all that time that you spent organizing everything into separate layers has now disappeared. It's now in one single layer. So right before you copy and paste, you want to make sure you do one thing. So I'm going to delete this, go back to my original file, and right before I copy this, I'm going to click on my layers, click on this little icon with the three lines, and say Pastry Members Layers. So now if I go over here and I hit copy, or Control C, and paste, or Control V, I should now have all my layers copied and pasted. So again, right before you copy and paste from one file to the next, just make sure you remember to put a check mark on Pastry Members Layers. And this is essentially what you would need to finish off your this 2D drawing.